Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Can you hear me okay? We have Zellsis here from Sentinels for our next scrum of the day. As always, please go ahead and use the raise hand function to ask your questions. I'll call on you from there. And feel free to write your questions in the chat as well. We're going to get started with a few pre-submitted questions, and then we'll move on to the chat. So we'll go ahead and get started here. We have our question from ValComp. After all the roster moves made within the Americas teams, which one do you think looks the strongest, and who would you love to face off against?
I think the strongest team on paper is probably NRG. Obviously they have a lot to work through, but they have like five really hardworking players. So I think the hurdles that they're going to encounter, they'll get over pretty quickly. But obviously, when you have a team as stacked as them, there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of eyes on them. They know they have to kind of succeed. So, um, yeah, they could either be really, really good or crash and burn. So I think NRG is like the one team that I'm really excited to watch and also look out for to play as well.
Great. We have another pre-submitted question here. For you, what is the key to good team communication?
I think that the key to good team communication is just like, chemistry, right? It's like understanding that all five players are there to win and no one's there to like, in like a perfect world, no one's there to like step on each other's toes or like no one's there to like, out for each other's necks or whatever. It's like you're all there for the same goal, like you want to win. So like you should be able to talk to each other almost like brothers, most of the time. And like even if, people's feelings get hurt, it's like you're not gonna like harp on it or anything like that because, you're a team and you're all there for the same goal. So that's like I think the most key important thing for me at least on my teams is because if you don't communicate your problems or your feelings, you're just gonna like bottle it up and you're just gonna like hold the resentment towards each other or like, someone on your team or maybe even yourself because you're not expressing those feelings. And then you just kind of like blow up. So I think the biggest thing for me is just like having like yeah, just like the team chemistry of like being brothers, stuff like that, like always being around each other.
And a follow-up from Valcamp. How do you manage the stress of the season?
Obviously what we do is like easy, but it's not easy. Like we just play video games, but at the same time, it's like when people that know esports know that it's not easy. And it's very stressful because one, either like you could get replaced at any time, or two, as people know, like esports is kind of in a bare winter right now, or yeah, bare winter. I think that's how you say it. Right now, and so for me, it's just I'm just happy to still be able to do like what I'm doing and play how I'm playing with my team. And it's a blessing to be able to do that. So I think like the biggest thing for me stress wise is just, not living in the past or the future, but more in the present and just, being here day to day and like counting my blessings basically, like I'm able to wake up every day. I'm able to, eat good food every day. I'm able to do what I like to do. So, as long as I'm looking forward and I'm happy with that, it's, stress is easy to handle.
Great. And we'll go ahead and move to questions from the chat. We'll start with Scott from Esports.
Hi, Jordan. How are you?
Hello, hi Scott.
So I want to sort of like see if you can give us a sort of peek behind what it's like sort of be like this six-man role that you're taking. When you were offered this position, they sort of talked to you about your roles. Was it sort of on the mindset where it's like, we're gonna see play it by ear, see what happens? Were there like specific matches or comps maps where they want you to play, or were you told that you were maybe have an opportunity to perhaps compete for a starting role? What sort of like position were you put in?
Um, Position. I had offers to play for a lot of teams in the world. I could have went to APAC. I could have went to EMEA. Obviously, I didn't want to go there yet. Like I wanted to kind of stay in Americas. I wouldn't mind going international. Obviously, like I had a really good relationship with Sentinels during our LCQ run, and obviously like I vibe with the management here and the staff, and obviously I'm talked to the players before, and all that. I also think the decision that I made was, I mean, I knew coming in as a six man, there was a chance that I wasn't gonna get to play. And I would kind of came to terms with that when I made my decision, was that I might not be able to play this year. Obviously it hurt like really bad, and like um watching the guys scrim and stuff like that, it just makes me want to play even more. But um I think that my decision was based off the fact that throughout my entire esports career, I was always chasing the riskiest option to win. And I think I had to kind of swallow my pride a little bit when I made my decision this year to be a six man, because I'm a competitor and like my whole goal in my career is to win something. Like I feel like no matter how my career goes at the end of it, if I haven't won like a champs or a masters or something, or like both, I think in my career I've failed. So um I think the biggest thing for me was just the security in esports and Sentinels. I mean, I have a very fun personality, I'd like to say, and I think Sentinels kind of embraces that. So I just wanted to be here for like, safekeeping, basically.
So no regrets on the decision?
Never. You can't. I never try to live with regrets. I mean, maybe sometimes I'll think about it, or I'll think about like decisions I make, but I like to tell myself that when I make a decision that that's what I've stuck with, and as long as I made that decision and I was okay with it, then no regrets.
Thanks, man.
Thank you. We'll go to Pedro next.
Hey Zellsis, thanks for the time. It's sort of a follow-up to your most recent answer, just sort of comparing how you see your time in Sentinels compared to that from when you were in Cloud9 and just having to go through, various roster shuffles at the start of the 2023 season. So, now that you've been able to have some time playing with the rest of the guys as a six man, and then also getting into the lineup at certain points of the off season, how would you compare your time in C9 and nowadays with Sentinels at the start of this year?
Um, like comparing like the rosters.
From your perspective, your experience, like either rosters or anything else that you see.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the comparison to the lock-in roster, like we didn't really have like that much time together. Like we placed, or with the C9 roster, sorry, with Ye and Vanity, we played second in Red Bull home ground to 100 Thieves, and then we played Brazil and we lost to DRX in a three-map series. And then after that, obviously our roster went through some drastic changes. We lost Ye, we lost Vanity. We picked up two rookies, Rooney and Jakey. And they were good. They were really hardworking. I mean, obviously the whole year was kind of like a heartfelt story, like we had such like a star-studded team at the beginning, and then we kind of had to reset and rebuild, and we had a lot of weight on our shoulders. And I think like in comparison to those two the C9 rosters to this one is, I think this one, like every player has kind of been around. I mean, obviously John, this is his like first franchise year, but he's been like at the top in since the games come out, like playing with Ghost, playing with M80, stuff like that. Um, so I don't really have like, there's not really like insane comparisons to the rosters or like how the teams are. It's just kind of like trying to find our own balance of like ourselves and like what we have here and the players we have. And I think that's like every team, right? So I guess that's my comparison. Sorry. I don't really think I answered that like straightforward, but yeah.
Great. We have a question from the chat. This is from Maze Esports. You originally hired to be the sixth player and are now the starter. How was that decision made by Sentinels? And is this decision only for the kickoff of the Americas?
I mean, who says I'm starting? Like I played in the off season and we done some stuff, but I guess we're just gonna have to. You guys are just gonna have to wait and see what our roster actually is. And that's what I'll leave that question on.
We'll go to Pedro.
This is a two-part type of question. First off, what are your thoughts on just Sentinels being in Group B for the upcoming kickoff event and the kind of teams that you guys going to be taking on for this first phase of the competition, them being Loud, 100 Thieves, and also Leviathan, and also another part of that is where do you see the current level of Sentinels compared to the rest of the league at this moment in time, and why?
Yeah, I mean, our group, we obviously have, I mean, on paper, we have the group of death, right? 100 Thieves just got boost deal. They have like the utmost confidence right now. Loud, I mean, Loud is always loud. Like they've always been able to compete. It'll be interesting to see them without Aspes though, because I think Aspes is, I don't know, Aspes is like the most talented player I think I've ever seen play the game, just like raw skill wise. Um, and then Lev is kind of like the dark horse for me, in my opinion. They're just kind of like a team of like everyone. I don't really know how to explain it, but it's like you just like look at that team and you're like, okay, that's a team, you know? So it'll be kind of interesting to see how they play. Obviously they're all good players. It's just they have to, find their footing. Um, but yeah, our group, in my opinion, is definitely the group of death. It'll be fun though. I mean, it's interesting how I don't know how the groups are drawn or what, but I mean, I always have fun competing, and especially against Loud, 100 Thieves, and Lev, it'll be fun. And then how we match up to everyone else is, I mean, I'd hope that we have like a really good head start. Like the guys have been putting in a ton of time and everything like that, and every team is like still like finding their footing, like they're all new teams, everything like that. So I mean, we're just gonna have to see how everyone plays against each other.
We'll do a last call for questions. Ichimon?
Yep. Do you hear me? Is it okay?
Yep, we can hear you.
Hello.
Okay, perfect. Jordan, is it fine if I call you Jordan?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Before asking you anything, I just wanted to say I love the content that you made and like all that behind of the scenes that you record. It just make us feel like closer. So I just wanted to say thank you for that. And I just want to know how you feeling about Loud, about Leviathan, and most of it Leviathan because I'm from Colombia, so I just want to know how you're feeling about like or Latinos fandom of that team.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited to play Loud, especially because like we lost to them last, or yeah, like C9 lost to them last year. So I kind of want revenge on them, even if they don't have Aspis. And then obviously with Lev, they have Aspis, so
Yeah.
kind of went from like one juggernaut to another. But I think any team that Aspis is on, he'll always just be really good. Um, so I think before I said that Lev was like my dark horse. They still kind of are. And I think I think they'll be good like out the gate, like just like random, like they'll just be good out the gate. I think with Aspis especially. But it'll be interesting to see how they kind of like develop for me. So I mean, yeah, I'm definitely always, I wouldn't say like scared to play Aspes, but it's definitely kind of nerve-wracking. It's like even though he's like coming, like you still have to like, you know, kill him. Um and it's just hard. He's just like a very talented player. And then like the other people around him are very like supportive role players in a sense. And I
Okay.
feel like they have just like the perfect mix. So that's Lev to me. Yeah, I think Lev will be good.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, any additional questions here? Please raise your hand. All right, thanks for joining us today. For those who have other interviews, please stay in the Zoom and we'll have later scrums later today. Zellsis, thank you for joining us. Good luck with kickoff and with the VCT Americas season.
Thank you guys.